Welcome back. Joining us again is Wake County Commissioner Sig Hutchinson. Let's switch gears just a little bit and we'll talk about drinking water. But before we get there, I know you've been so passionate about Triangle and Wake County, and we appreciate that, but you're too big. Your ambitions are too big. You're spreading out. Tell me about this regional ambition you now have. What's going on?
Oh, Bill, that's such a great point. You know, we have so many greenways here, and the thing is, it's just not that well known, and it's not linked up to the rest of the region. You know, Charlotte or Mecklenburg County has an initiative they call the Carolina Thread Trail. It's 14 counties throughout around Mecklenburg, and they came up with this, oh my gosh, probably 12, 13 years ago. And they came up with the vision, but they didn't have the trail system. We have the trail system, but we don't have the vision or the network. So for the last year and a half now, Bill, a friend of mine, Chuck Flake, and I, we got a grant from the A.J. Fletcher Foundation. And for the last year and a half, we've been defining 14 counties or 13 counties that surround Wake County, 14 total. We've been going to every county commission, and we've been asking them to join a network. We're calling it the Triangle Trails Initiative. And what we're working to do, Bill, is to build a network that expands out, 14 counties, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Every time that we go to a commission, they're so excited about it. But what's so amazing is that everyone defines a greenway or a trail in a different way. Some of them are interested in hard surface greenways like our greenway system, asphalt. Some are soft surface trails. Some are old rail corridors like our American Tobacco Trail. They call them the Rails to Trails corridor. But however they define it, everybody wants to get on the bandwagon of trails and greenways because they truly understand many of the benefits it has for their citizens.
What's it mean to you? Looking back over your shoulder, the resistance that was there initially, and I think you touched on it a little bit, how some folks had to acquire land from private property owners, but it doesn't seem to be an issue anymore unless I've missed something. And now it seems, oh my goodness, you're the guy and everybody's happy. Has it really changed that much?
It really has.
It really has.
I would, early in my career in the late 90s, early 2000, I would have to, go into a room of, anywhere from 40 to 80 neighbors, and they were not happy. I mean, they were really mad. In fact, I had to kind of tone down, Bill, because I get so excited about it, and they would get even more angry because I was so excited about it. But, what would happen is that I would tell them, really, this is good. You're going to enjoy it. You're really for it. You just don't know it yet. And it'll give you a chance to see your neighbors, to get out. We find that property values go up, not down. Crime is not a problem. Vandalism's not a problem. There's a sidewalk in front of your house. The greenway behind your house is no different. In fact, it's better because then you can access it. And so many times we would see a fence go in to protect the family from the greenway, and then about 6 months later, they put a gate in the fence so they could go out and access the greenway. But I live here in Bedford in North Raleigh, and there's a greenway. There's a sidewalk actually, but it's part of the greenway that goes right down to the Neuse River Greenway, 32 miles, Bill. The longest greenway in the state of North Carolina. So, but to your point, people's attitudes have significantly changed, particularly towns and cities, because now all the 12 municipalities want to connect up to the greenway, and they're doing bonds to actually build the greenway system. And let me just mention that the voters, of which I want to thank you, in 2016 passed a $120 million open space parks and greenway bond. And what we're doing with that greenway money is that we're partnering with our municipal partners to say, if you'll help build out our greenway system or connect to the existing greenway system, we, Wake County, will help you pay for that. So the first close to $10 million is going to be we've already done the RFP, and those decisions will be announced later this year to expand our greenway system even more.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the relationship between municipalities and the county, because that has also changed, and you have a very good relationship now. But I also, because we're running out of time, I want to talk about the Upper Neuse River Basin Association. I want to talk about our water quality, how important that is, and how this all ties together.
Sure. Well, water is something that resonates with all of us, just down to our soul. And I've been involved in clean water as an environmentalist for 35 years. And as I became a commissioner in 2014, I got involved with and ultimately became chair of the organization is called the Upper Neuse River Basin Association, but basically it's the Falls Lake Reservoir. And, there are 14 different stakeholders, counties, towns, and cities that are part of this effort, specifically designed to keep the Falls Lake Reservoir clean. And we're spending over $1 million a year, Bill, to basically just study this reservoir to ultimately determine what the loading, what the sediment and runoff loading going into the lake is, with the idea of trying to figure out what is our best strategy and the least expensive strategy for being able to keep that reservoir clean. There's a great story about how it actually became drinking water, in that initially it was designed strictly as a flood control lake. But later on, after the reservoir was already in, the city of Raleigh says, hey, do you mind if we can use that for drinking water? Well, it was there and it was accessible. And so they got a slice of that water. And 4 years ago, when the Trump administration was first in, county commissioners got invited up to the White House. And so I talked to staff. I said, okay, what am I going to ask for? And we decided that I was going to ask for, we have a slice in the Falls Lake Reservoir, and there's another slice that's just was listed as reserve, but we could use it for drinking water. And so we've been trying to get the Corps of Engineers for over a decade to allow that to happen. So 4 years ago, when I was up at the White House, I started a conversation with the White House. I got our senators and David Price and our congressman involved, and the city council, county commission. We actually got it done. So 2 years ago, the Corps came down, a big signing ceremony, and we actually got another 10 years water supply as a result of my work at the White House and the Trump administration. So now the Falls Lake Reservoir is going to be clean and abundant for another 10 years.
Last quick question, because we're almost out of time. You're a busy man. Do you ever get a chance to use your own greenways that you've created?
Well, it's right out here.
Good.
It's right out my backyard. So, I mean, I'm 50 feet away. So my bike is over there and the greenway's over here, and I've got more bikes than I care to admit. So there's a bike in my future even later today, Bill. I'm going to be out on that greenway.
Commissioner Hutchinson, it's a pleasure to see you again. I always love talking to you, and thank you for all you've done. I really, truly mean that. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. For all of you, thank you for watching. Of course, we appreciate that, and we hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you have any questions or would like to know more, visit our website at RaleighCW.com and myrdctv.com. And I'm Bill LeMay. Thank you for watching Community Matters, and we'll see you next week.